while you're still studying, benda tu you're just okay, I nak rush kejar deadline sebab I nak present and submit, betul tak? Tapi it's a different ball game bila you nak fight for real opportunity. So kat situ that's where I actually learn lah macam mana you nak present kat orang, macam mana you nak sampaikan your idea in the fastest way. So I learned that from the first firm. That was the Paulo Cookie Effect. Tak banyak was built at that point sebab 2 tahun tu kita memang turun competition entry saja. In total, I tak masuk penuh dalam CV tu. In total, there was about 90 that I joined, international ones. It was crazy lah. 90 competitions, and it was like about 3 of us yang buat kerja, daripada design, daripada model sampai buat board and everything. But of course, after that 2 years, saya rasa macam nak try something new. Build works. Rasa macam nak go into, okay, what if I go to another firm yang agak besar, medium scale to big scale punya firm. So I tried A&A Architects lah. A&A Architects is quite established, tapi dia macam low key, dia tak adalah high profile macam GDP ke apa ke. So I joined that and managed to get involved in a few projects, especially housing. The housing from start to finish. I mean, rasa benda tu crucial tau untuk you. I think at one point of your life you can get into a company that gives you that. You daripada you design, you present, you manage the construction, you manage the tender sampai lah habis. So all the 5 scopes you capture. Alright, so benda tu dia akan prepare you or give you a solid background for whatever else you want to do, regardless of skill. Sebab as long as you faham semua 5 stages of your scope tu, it's all good. So daripada ini tu, it's not just the housing, kita buat condo juga. There was a condo, and kat belakang I jumpa my wife kat situ juga. So dia pun architect lah, dia dekat GDP. And so that was my journey in A&A. Of course, the whole process tu I ni cepat bosan tau. So bila dia dah lepas 2 tahun lebih macam tu, I dah go through a lot of things dalam that company tu. I try compress as much as I can. Then I terus macam, okay, it's time to jump. And one day I went to Dayton. Korang tahu Dayton kan? Tahu tak Dayton? Tak tahu. Dayton is actually macam architecture punya conference daily before pandemic. Kita selalu ada like once a year tau dekat KLCC. So dia akan ada macam conference. So that's where like actually korang akan jumpa arkitek-arkitek lain, student dari universiti lain. That's pretty much the gathering time lah. Tapi dia akan jemput foreign architects to come and present as well. So I was there, and Rabbi session, which is the session design punya boss, dia kebetulan duduk sebelah I. So dia lalu depan I, lepas tu dia macam join aku. Lepas tu I macam, oh okay. Lepas tu I pergi tu sekejap tu, after I decided to jump ship, because session design, which is the third company I'm with, dia focus more on detailing the design itself. Kita dah tak cakap pasal scale projects lah, bukan pasal condo apa ke. We talk about houses, mostly houses and F&B, tapi betul-betul fokus on the details. And so kalau korang boleh nampak, the 3 companies yang I pergi, tiga completely different. And even during my training, I purposely pilih, okay, for the first industrial training tu, dulu kena buat practical kan, I terus apply dekat Ijaz. I want to see big firm macam mana. So it was quite cool lah, sebab when I was there, masa dengan Ijaz Custody, kita kan intern kan, so selalunya dia akan suruh you buat macam, okay, tolong colour plan, tolong tolong buat presentation buat kala-kala ni semua. Tapi um, I tak puas hati lah. Bukan tak puas hati apa, because feels like I'm not learning anything. So I think after like 1 2 weeks like that, I terus pergi dekat Hijaz himself, and I say I want to learn more. So time tu best gila, because dia macam okay, sebab you dah confront I macam ni, grab a seat right outside his office. And the first task he gave me, masa tu I student lagi kan, kategori part 1 jugalah. Lepas tu dia kata, okay, I ada satu klien baru sampai daripada Qatar ni, dia meeting in the morning, dia terus pass kat I, this is the plot of land, you come out with the high rise, petang ni bila orang tu fly balik dari Qatar, presentation kena siap. So memang you kena throw into the deep end. So that was my training, first time. Then second training was with ZLG. ZLG also design oriented. Kalau korang pernah tengok dia punya project saya buat macam Beauty Center kan, tahu tak ZLG kan, dia buat the dempur dekat Cameron Highlands tu, quite famous. There's a high rise tower I think dekat Taman Perdana, Point 92. Those are really nice projects lah. I mean, for Malaysians punya level, we kena tengok towards that. Yeah, so dua training dah settle. So I masuk session design. Session design I think this year would be my 9th year. Tapi saya punya role dah berubah dah lah sekarang. And now I'm running actually 3 companies. Session design saya jaga in terms of the design of the architecture. Syariah architect I buat pretty much all the projects, tapi I consider as passion projects tau. I tak tengok sangat fee, tengok kepada klien yang nak explore, klien yang willing, yang cari kita sebab dia nak design kita. Okay, orang macam tu I memang pergi. So our jobs skill is always like kecil-kecil je, tapi kecil-kecil tu yang puas hati sebenarnya lah. And then I have another company, but that's in Penang, yang tu kita solely buat high rise saja. So yeah, I think that's the background secara architecture. Sekarang ni what I do, kalau dah habis kerja, malam-malam memang I buat NFT punya art and everything lah, for fun. Yeah, I think I dah explain everything. Kalau sekarang ni ada apa sesi kalau nak tanya apa-apa je. Hello.
I want to ask something. The question is, what is the most important in architecture?
That's a very broad question, but a good question. What's the most important thing? It depends on you. That's actually something that you're gonna find out, because there are so many factors. You're gonna find yourself one day being in a situation where you can discover benda tu. I can't give you that, but for me, it's always about consistency. You know bila orang cakap pasal design, to me architecture ni banyak kepada design, both external and internal, the human experience. I think that's important for me, but that's because the journey yang all this while I dah go through tu memang leads me to that conclusion. So I'm very particular about certain things like details. You know, how big you want the window to be. Is there cross ventilation? Are they comfortable inside the room? Are they comfortable inside the house? Does it work? You know, so those are the things that are important to me architecturally. Tapi some people bila they grow, they dah kerja here and there, their views might change. You know, might be different than mine. So you have to look for yours juga lah.
Next question is, macam mana Encik boleh explore digital art?
Macam mana boleh explore digital art? I rasa perasan curious kot. I think dari dulu. Macam you see certain things seperti macam, how do you do that? You know, you ada rasa intrigue nak tahu. So from then on, I try lah to learn new softwares. I think 1 year I will like pick up 1 or 2 new softwares just to learn and test. Tapi maybe that's not the right answer to your question. The digital art, I think is the easiest way for me to translate my thoughts. Some people dia boleh terus sketch. I boleh sketch, tapi my sketch tak adalah power sangat sampai, macam master architect. Tak ada lah. I boleh sketch orang faham tu je lah. Tapi to translate it nicely, neatly, and boleh portray how weird I want it to be, I cuma boleh buat dengan digital art je. So yeah, that's how I end up there.
We know that Encik Lan has been working on some NFT stuff. So how did you first find out about it?
Quite. It was a coincidence. It was actually a merge of a few events tau. Yeah. There was a few events yang happened at the same time yang buat I macam, okay, screw it, let's do it. First was my friends memang into crypto, and some of them memang jump into NFT, but they are not on local platforms. They are on international platform. And dia duk cerita-cerita I tak faham lah, tapi kita duk baca je apa benda tu, teks kan, tapi tak boleh brain. Macam okay lah dengar je kan. Then while I was actually designing a house, working on a house for one of session design and Sharawi punya client, and client tu one day kata, okay, I ada beli satu NFT ni tiba-tiba. The NFT cost like about 350,000, and I nak letak display dalam dia punya bilik study. So macam, okay, siapa tu? So I had to figure out macam nak muatkan orang punya they call it macam physical merchandise tu dekat dalam bilik study room dia to cater for this NFT artist. So that at that point I was like, okay, intriguing. So maknanya you ada different scale of how you can do NFT. Faham tak? Sebelum ni, masa awal-awal I selalu baca news is always about lah orang nampak pixel apa semua tu kan. Tapi turns out there's another side of it, which is real artists doing really intricate things tau. So I'm like, okay, that's nice. Dia macam ada platform for them to sell or to survive or to actually showcase their works. Gets more attention these days, so it is good lah for Malaysian artists especially. Yeah. So those two major events lah pretty much started out.
What is the challenging part in pursuing architecture and your way to overcome it?
I would say I think there's no easy way to put this. It will not be easy for you at all. I always tell, I always bagi lecture and everything to students, and to achieve apa benda yang orang selalu, okay, I publish apa semua tu kan, kita selalu nampak that's the end result. Everyone sees the end result. Tapi throughout the way, the pain lagi unbearable sebenarnya. I give you an example. Okay, you boleh tackle a project in 2 ways. Okay, let's say you ada satu klien buat rumah dengan you. Lepas tu macam mana you nak handle? There's two ways actually. Satu is a common tak cenggu punya method bagi I. You dapat plan, klien kata, okay, I want A, I terus bagi A, I bagi draftsman ke, usually ke buat drafting, submit, bagi kontraktor, dah lantak korang. Betul, building tu is quite safe kan. Okay, I will issue CCC. Habis cerita. That is the touch and go method, which is how people survive without getting too much headache. Tapi the other side of the coin, kalau you nak do something that is really worthwhile and you're proud of, dia agak painful sebab the process is never linear. You dapat a brief, you kena engage a dialogue with the client. Dia kata dia nak wainscoting, you kata why wainscoting, faham tak? You kena fight your way through. And kalau dia kata I nak juga wainscoting, you kena pecah kepala otak you, figure out macam mana you nak do wainscoting in your own style yang tak nampak murahan. You get what I mean? So itu baru just one part. Then the whole process, the whole journey, you nak kena justify macam mana, kenapa you nak buat roof profile atau RC yang nipis-nipis kan. Kita suka kan benda yang nampak cantilever gila-gila apa semua tu. But to achieve that, it comes at a price point. There is a price or cost increase. Betul tak? Kalau you nak buat something yang that is great construction wise, maknanya cost you akan bertambah. You have to justify that, and that is difficult. Because then, kalau you don't explore benda macam tu, okay, you buat certain special screen lah, apalah semua tu, then you have to explain to client why do you think it's good and how to change their views sampai dia boleh appreciate that. So, kalau dia dah appreciate benda tu, dah bagus lah kan. And finally making it work. Maknanya you have to be on site like at least once or twice a week. Because orang kat luar kadang-kadang dia tak faham when you're exploring a new thing tau. You nak perforation size berapa. Bila orang buat railing kan, orang kata okay, you well je lah kan. I nak hollow section, I nak besi railing biasa. You boleh je escape by doing just railing biasa. But we go to the point where I tengok dia punya join bila dia well tu macam mana. You ada well silap, cancel. But all this takes a toll. Those are the challenges. You punya mental health, you kacau lah bagi I sebenarnya. Sebab every week is always about fighting all this. Yeah. So tadi saya ada nampak message.
Yang lain kalau ada soalan boleh tanya.
Ada Arif Hakimi. Hai Hakimi. Nah, Hakimi saya pernah I pernah discuss dengan dia. So actually okay, think pasal NFTs ni, why I did mask. Now you see, I tak pernah buat sculpting tau sebenarnya with the sculpting software. So that is one of the software yang I tiba-tiba rasa macam, you know what, I want to do this. You perasan tak, dari kalau siapa sini yang biasa dengan NFT lah atau you pernah see, it's always about profile pictures tau. And I'm a digital artist, I consider lah. I take time to do each and every single one of the work. It's not generative. So bagi saya, okay, why not I do profile pictures in my own take. That was the only reason. Dan nampak lah benda lain kan. So you need to find your niche, I guess. This is me finding my niche lah. And so far I think I found it. Alhamdulillah. So yeah. Does that answer your question, Hakimi?
Yeah, it answers the question. Hi, Assalamualaikum. Just a follow-up question. What do you think about the current market di mana macam kita nampak ada orang, saya pasal lah, ada NFT punya platform, orang jual selfies, orang jual memes, whatever benda-benda yang is supposed to be a joke tapi can be sold at a very high value. What is your perspective on that? How does it affect the market? In your opinion, does it macam, oh dia nak jual lah, sekali dia lah kalau dia nak jual apa pun kan?
Yeah, actually you pretty much answered it. Sukati dia nak jual apa? Because here's the thing. You I think it's cool. Bila I tengok orang jual NFT yang dia buat selfie tu banyak-banyak beribu-ribu tu dia buat ratus ribu, dia kaya lah kan. To me, I respect tau, because it may sound easy, tapi untuk you have that kind of discipline to take a picture of yourself every day or whatever, for whatever reason, for few hundred days, it deserves my respect lah sebenarnya. But on a serious note, NFT is not about art, by the way. It's about the token. It's all speculative market tau. Macam you main saham. Orang beli token tu, lantak lah token tu design apa pun. It's whether they can flip it or not. That's a different story lah. Itu nanti you and I kita boleh explain pada panjang.
Do you see yourself transitioning daripada buat digital art, mask apa semua ni, to something like just doing selfies every day and selling stuff?
Nah, tak boleh. Dia macam kalau orang paksa I pakai tiang design rumah, pakai tiang rumah banyak tau. Saya tak boleh.
Okay.
Yeah.
Alright, thank you very much. Oh, sekejap. Can I ask one more thing? Nak tanya.
Yeah, sure.
Pasal how what made you gravitate towards NFT in the first place instead of, let's say, macam F&B or something macam common sekarang is opening coffee shops ke, like coffee stall, something yang also can
but
gravitate towards NFT.
yeah. You're not the first person to ask me that, but I am not such a risk taker. I take risks bila I tahu that's something that I can handle. Okay, maknanya I punya risk appetite is that I tahu I boleh deliver certain things, then I gravitate towards that. Kalau cafes, it requires me to be good at actually satu, running an F&B, kedua, you pandai buat kopi, atau you have the capital to actually hire orang yang pandai buat kopi. F&B is scary. From all my F&B clients, diorang semua sebenarnya cuak semua. It may sound nice lah bila you ada hipster cafe tapi the reality behind it of actually running the cafe, it's scary. Faham?
Okay, I've seen kalau NFTs ni wouldn't macam delving yourself into NFT is also quite a big risk. I mean, what's your advice personally untuk orang yang nak try to get into NFT? Is it like a big following? Connections? What is it in your opinion?
Okay, I tell you my point of view. There is third reason why I joined. It's about branding awareness. I actually ada follow up on real project leads because of NFT. That makes sense because I established my brand as someone yang buat architecture and NFT. Somehow now I'm known to do that. So it works out. So it depends on you punya goal macam mana. Ke you jenis nak tiba-tiba you nak laki. Okay, I saw in the news selalu cakap okay, you're gonna get 1 million lah, berapa million lah dia buat NFT. Actually it's not true. Those are the few rare incidents that it happens. Apa lah tanya tu, basically tak ada risk pun sebenarnya. Kalau you are the creator, there is no risk to you. Macam you tengah lukis ada debu, you tengah bosan-bosan, you lukis atas ini sketchbook tu, you terus jual. Orang nak lah, kalau orang tak nak, lantak dia. There is no risk. The risk is when you buy other people punya kerja.
Okay.
Yeah.
If let's say in the future macam all of a sudden in the future you only had to choose either NFTs or architecture, which would you choose and why exactly? Just you.
Architecture kot.
Oh, okay. Not NFTs because
here's the thing, dia belum sampai stage where it can sustain everything that I have or whatever I need to survive. So dia belum sampai that stage, and I'm still doing it at the fun punya level. buat benda ni sebab fun and I dapat branding exposure, orang tahu I siapa, okay lah, that's it. It serves its purpose. Tapi kalau let's say one day tiba-tiba benda the whole thing crashes down to earth for whatever reason, I have to choose, I memang akan pilih architecture because the nice thing about it, kat Malaysia you sebenarnya tak banyak arkitek tau. Actually there's not many. So and there's always orang nak renovate rumah lah, nak buat apa. There's always ways for you to make money in architecture. Now I think Hakim, you or Aina, someone actually tanya I like what can you do besides architecture. It's not just NFT stuff. Like I did an outlet for Fiziwu. Kalau korang tahu brand Fiziwu, Fiziwu fashion boutique, dia punya owner is actually my junior in university who scored flying colors in UTM tau, architecture. Tapi dia branch out, dia buat fashion, jalan. Ada few company, ada few of them buat tudung punya company, jalan juga, you know. Ada yang buat videography punya company and jalan. So to be right, and but they all share the same sentiment. Kalau you tak go through your studies passage tu kan, yang berapa tahun korang akan habiskan part 2 ke whatever, you takkan ada the foundation for you to do those things. There's so many things you can do sebab macam Hassan kata in terms of fashion tu, macam you tahu macam nak present to client, you know what needs to be presented. Branding patut dia by now korang semua dah macam petik jari lah, faham? Because you understand about proportions, you understand about scale, things that secara tak sengaja architecture ajar korang. So banyak orang, I have students yang datang kat I macam okay, actually I tak rasa macam takut lah nak continue architecture. Well, tak apa lah, you tak nak kerja architect, fine lah, do something else that you like, tapi use whatever knowledge that you give to do that.
Lagi ada berapa soalan ke? Saya nak tanya.
Saya nak tanya soalan boleh? Okay. So as we know, Encik Lan now has his own career, but kalau kita tanya Encik Lan, how will you explain or how will you describe your university life? Sebab sekarang Encik Lan mesti dah pass semua juga kan? So we want to know how will you describe your university life?
Okay, saya ni penghuni studio sepanjang masa lah. So kalau kat universiti memang the entire 5 days yang school days tu memang tidur bawah meja dekat cubicle tu. Dekat UTM masa back in my time kita ada macam studio, so each one ada satu table, ada cubicle yang shared by another guy. So kita orang macam ada kita punya toto and everything kat bawah tu, bangun buat doi, have fun and everything. Yeah, but okay, in hindsight, life is better than sebenarnya. Sebab masa I tak appreciate masa university, it's actually time tu lah korang boleh buat architecture gila kot, because no one is gonna like judge you apart from your lecturer, you know. You ada jury of 3-4 panels, but that's about it. But they're not your real clients. You are allowed to actually go crazy, yeah, for lack of better word. So what I did masa tu adalah sikit explorative apa semua tu, but it wasn't all out. Yeah. It was fun. I pun ada play around jugalah. Ujung-ujung final year main-main juga lah. Alhamdulillah lepas juga. Does that like answer your question, or do you want to know more? Okay lah, I can tell more. Masa my first year taking architecture, my lecturer back then was one of the notorious ones. dia lah ajar many people from back in the early 90s, 80s apa semua tu. So dia jenis yang okay, dia datang pagi-pagi standard tu, dia ketuk dia punya whiteboard, shit you all. Lepas tu kalau dia tengok email drawing macam sampah kan, dia kena ambil drawing tu, dia keronyak kan, dia buka tingkat, dia campak kat luar tau. So that was my first year, macam wake up call. And second year I dapat belajar dengan third year I punya lecturer was like Jeffrey Bauer punya apa dia panggil anak murid lah. So that was quite cool. So kita orang belajar buat charcoal drawings, guna charcoal saja, spread over A0. Berpeluh lah kau sprawl atas lantai kan dengan charcoal sana sini. Those are fun times. Benda yang you tak ada masa dah nak buat bila you kerja tau. So it's all good. Does that answer your question, Ainda?
It's answering my question. So Encik Lan, do you have any suggestion for us as an architecture student? Nak arrange masa tu susah sangat dengan nak overcome semua stress, competitive person semua tu. Encik Lan ada tak tips untuk kami?
Ada. Don't be competitive. Okay, ni tengah session recording ke? I boleh jempah-jempah ke sikit? Ke tak boleh? Ke clean je? Okay.
Boleh.
Screw competing. It's okay to kadang-kadang you akan nampak you punya batchmate ke siapa orang kat industri yang gempaknya dia buat architecture dia, tapi each one ada their own journey. All you need to do is just focus on yours. You see, the moment you just focus on yours, you macam lantak orang lain buat apa kan, janji I dapat I punya objective. Are you better than the architect or the person you are yesterday? If you are, dah tercapai dah actually. Apa lagi you nak sebenarnya? Do you design better this year compared to last year? Kalau the answer is yes, not on. You tak perlu nak stress apa. The reason why people stress is because most of the time you exert the stress onto yourself. You rasa macam boleh ke aku buat benda ni, boleh ke tak ni aku design ni. Actually forget all that. The second part of your question, or is it the first part, macam mana nak manage time? Very important. I usually time myself tau. Okay, let's say there's a certain software yang you tahu macam nak buat. Okay, let's say AutoCAD ke, korang sekarang pakai Revit ke apa ke, roughly based on, let's say you nak come out with a certain plan, how long does it take? Okay, you dah ada that set amount of hours, you dah tahu in the future it might get faster than that a bit, but roughly it's going to be there, right? So I can time myself that one, plus modeling take how long, plus kalau rendering kalau perlu takes how long. I dah tahu semua benda tu, I can plan anything out easily. So you can apply this masa student pun. I did this masa 4th to 5th year, although I played around, tapi semua deadline tercapai simply because okay, I ada this idea, I jot it down, lepas tu cepat-cepat buat, nampak lah orang lain cakap apa kan. Lepas tu I make sure that I tarik the deadline tu 1 or 2 weeks before you punya final, before you punya submission date. Because once you did that, you dah siap you punya kerja, you print siap-siap, you film, you letak, lepas tu you go and have fun. Kita tengok movie ke apa ke. Because a relaxed mind at that point dalam 2 minggu tu is where you tiba-tiba macam click tau, macam ada something I can improve. Okay, at that point you take that time to improve. At that point you take your time to formulate balik. Okay, macam mana I nak present better, I ada better idea macam mana I nak explain. Because a clearer head You tak ada pressure lah. You tak ada, you eliminate the stress of meeting deadline. I rasa benda tu important dah. So, even sekarang work pun, actually I tak stress pasal timeline. I stress sebab deal dengan manusia tau. Tapi itu cerita lain dah. Stress deal dengan timeline ni tak ada. So macam client cakap kat I boleh confidently say, okay, I can get back to you by when. And I selalu bagi my staff to decide when. I tak dictate lah. So, kalau staff I dekat situ, tanya dia, you bila? You know your own capabilities. Betul tak? Kalau I paksa, I say, finish it in 5 days. What happens is, orang tu, dia dah bukan masuk dalam mode I'm doing good architecture. Dia dah masuk mode I gotta beat the deadline. Does that make sense? Okay. Korang sebenarnya kalau you eliminate that out of the equation, you guys should probably be having fun right now, learning things, you know. Yeah.
Nak tanya, okay, sebut pasal deal kan. Kadang kita macam kita belajar ni, kita deal dengan, dalam studio kita deal dengan 2 lecturer. So lecturer ni kata lain, lecturer tu kata lain. Untuk Cik Azlan lah, macam mana nak apakah yang Cik Azlan boleh nasihat lah pada kita orang, untuk kita orang nak ikut, sama ada nak ikut lecturer ni ke, nak ikut lecturer tu ke, ataupun nak ikut diri sendiri ke?
Sebenarnya lecturers are not there for you to ikut dia orang sebenarnya. You have to get that mindset out tau. Lecturer is just there to guide you tau. University is not like school. So you treat them like clients. Bila korang keluar nanti, korang akan jumpa dengan laki bini yang gaduh kat rumah. Dia suruh duduk rumah, duduk kepala otak lain. Okay, now you boleh apply tau. Masa kat universiti tu sampai you kerja memang akan sama je. What I usually do is I take the strongest point of each. Okay, dia ni kata apa yang make sense, yang I rasa I boleh implement. Kalau benda dia cakap, let's say orang A kata, benda ni I tak nak you buat lah macam ni, tapi you disagree. You tak boleh kata, okay, I tak nak, I disagree je. You must be ready to fight for it. So, list it down je lah. Boleh je nak gabung dulu. To achieve 2 orang dengan different pendapat, to tackle them both is what makes you a good architect. You know what I mean? Sebab masalah kau nanti, kau buat high rise nanti, kau ada 10 orang yang kerja dah tu, semua yang jenis macam duk mengampu dia punya bos kan, tu semua kepala lain-lain kan. Macam ni korang nak tackle tu. So the challenge is that, and it will always be. Tak ada nak elak-elak. But doesn't mean you have to follow them.
Okay, ada satu soalan lagi. Ada orang tanya, software apa yang Cik Azlan guna untuk buat NFT?
SketchUp mostly sebenarnya. Semua design semua pakai SketchUp, kecuali I think Hakimi tahu, I buat mask, I baru launch yesterday. Yang tu I sculpt pakai ZBrush. ZBrush ni orang pakai untuk buat character modeling untuk games and whatever. It's not for architecture. In terms of rendering, dia boleh pakai Keyshot untuk produk. Keyshot, kalau korang pernah dengar, Keyshot untuk produk. Untuk architecture, I find using Lumion is the best for exterior. Kalau interior, pakai D5 render. Kejap I Okay, boleh check dalam messages tu, I type out everything lah. Korang pandai-pandai lah explore. Tapi your generation I think banyak pakai ni software kan actually, like Revit. Betul ke? Ke apa? Apa yang korang pakai?
Kalau
Nanti
saya
is syllabus, but tak adalah pakai. Revit is a subject that we have to take, tapi generally kami tak pakai. In the upper parts, just SketchUp and Lumion lah.
I see. Okay.
Okay, ada soalan dekat komen tu daripada Muhammad Afan Mirusli. How you balance your career and personal life as an architect?
Oh, senang je kau kahwin bini architect tak? So dia faham. No, I'm not joking. It's real. Actually, you punya lifestyle awal-awal, you timetable akan screw up depending on which company you join. Sebab masa dulu saya dengan first company tu, memang saya stay up sampai 12 malam, 1 pagi, 2 pagi, almost every day. Memang unhealthy. There was no balance actually. Bila masuk second company, ENA, dia betul-betul habis pukul 5:30 tu, habis. Semua orang balik sekali dengan bos sekali. So, to answer that question, I think you need to pick your offices right. Kalau you betul nak balance, faham yeah. Susah sebenarnya. And for me, it's a bit difficult. I say I'm running my own firm kan. For my staff, pukul 6, okay, aku tak kacau kau dah. Tapi us as business owners, they extend beyond that. You dah tak ada. You kalau you nak jadi architect as a firm owner, it's very difficult in terms of that balance. So you kena ada, let's say your life dah progress towards that, you kena ada someone yang understands you. Fair enough, eh?
Okay, one more question. Ada orang tanya apa? Dia nak cari NFT tapi dia terjumpa yang apa ni? Jumpa yang kripto punya. Bagi dia yang buat NFT juga dia tanya soalan dia, NFT kripto tu okey tak?
Tak faham. Sorry.
Jangan salah.
Boleh copy paste tak soalan tu masuk dalam in-call messages ni kat Google. Google Meet kan korang pakai?
Kejap.
Alif, let me ask another question first. Boleh?
Kejap.
Okay, Adia tanya. Okay, so Encik Lan, we all know that you have your own firm kan? At the first time you want to open that firm, how are you very determined in opening that firm instead of doing other job? Macam kerja bawah orang ke macam tu?
Sebab again, like I say, kalau you nak the whole goal is to eliminate stress. So kalau korang nak kurangkan stress dari segi bila you buat apa-apa, you kena minta permission orang lain kan. I eliminate the middle person. Sendiri jadi bos lah, sendiri decide. Tapi you ada stress lain pula. Stress you yang decide the final decision. Kalau salah, it's on you. But yeah, bila start tu, I memang gamble je. Memang nak. I know I want to do it. Let's do it. Okay, I tell you, the process untuk I punya part 3 was actually very long. I start apply in 2012. I isi my logbook. Siap 2014, 2 years. Lepas tu I think back then I submit. Lepas tu dia orang kata tak cukup work experience. Ada satu point tu I kena kick out from lembaga. So dia tak kira membership masa tu, my logbook. So I give up like that. Then ada satu there was a phase where suddenly I got jolted back. That was in 2016. Okay, fine. I buat balik benda tu, I isi balik logbook, I sit for exam. So sampailah 2017, sit for exam. Finally dia kata, okay, you punya lepas you kena interview. Masuk interview semua dah okay. Paper 1, paper 2 that same year I failed paper 2. Bomba memang, sorry lah, memang celaka lah seorang bomba. So I failed that paper. I had to resit the next year. So I resit next year, lepas. But I just focus on bomba je lah. Then, so basically you're talking about a span of about 5 years, 6 years just to dapatkan that qualification. So to me rugi gila tau kalau I kerja under orang. Yes, you boleh dapat stable income, tapi you forever be under someone. You're not the person who dictates your own architecture. Unless kalau you dengan your employer sefahaman, sehaluan in terms of architecture, then you will send it, okay, jalan lah. Which is why right now architecture session saya masih pegang, because kita sehaluan, kita pantang tengok macam okay, we cannot come out with poor design, it has to be nicely done. So benda tu buatkan I boleh, okay, I boleh maintain lagi certain portion. Ya. Tapi question tu mana? Tak ada question tu. Crypto.
Tahu kata tak jadi pula katanya.
No, Lan, can I ask something in your opinion?
Yeah, sure.
Something based on your experience lah kan, sebab since you're an architect now, it came to my understanding that you didn't need to get the title of architect in order to open up a firm. It just came to my realization that lepas my lecturer cakap kat saya, dia tak ada pun the architect punya, tak habis part 3, but yet ada part 2, he can open up a firm, cuma going through the process of getting the signatures and whatever. That has to go to undergo the architect punya ni lah, through an architect. So in your opinion, in your experience, would it be wise to after habis part 2 immediately try to get the part to finish part 3, ataupun staying at the part 2 punya ni pun is also, is it?
Boleh je. That's a very it's a personal question. It's an individual. It's based on the individual. Kalau you boleh fly with the part 2, buat apa you nak sign away your life? You see, the minute you sign a drawing, you are bound to it tau. Macam sekarang ni, I risau tau bila nak sign drawing apa semua tu kan, because that means the liability is on you. Tapi of course, the liability pays. Macam ni you nak play the balance. Ada setengah orang dia anti, dia kata okay, orang part 2 tak boleh buat firm. Memang dalam law kononnya tak boleh lah kan, but there's always ways around it. Malaysia kan. But I tak, to me macam antak you, kalau you part 2 and you can contribute something good to the industry, why not? Everyone wins. Menaikkan level of designers, architectural designers kat Malaysia. That's the whole goal. Yang lain lantak. So part 3, whether you need or not, that is that's for you to answer.
Okay.
For me kan, another thing is I tak boleh buat benda halfway lah. You ada part 1, you ada part 2, kita cakap ada lagi satu bahagian ni, I need to just finish it off. So even now, whatever I do dalam my project, I malas submit sebenarnya. I kalau boleh bagi tahu klien, you boleh tak cari architect sign? Padahal I boleh sign, because it's a lot of headache. I nak pergi majlis deal dengan orang majlis. To me that's like not, itu macam bazir masih yang you boleh spend to do architecture. Yeah. I think you realize that lah nanti. Memang kurang minat.
I think some of us dalam meet ni sekarang ada yang dah nak grad dan ada yang dah habis semester 8, yang dah habis the whole 4 years, and I myself I'm approaching my last semester. What is your advice kalau dah habis the totality of 4 years ni? What's your advice after that? Should we like pursue working? Should we sambung masters ke? What is something that you did in your younger years that maybe you regret, atau maybe you could have done it some other way?
I never had that choice tau, sebab my course was straight away part 1, part 2 sekali. So it was a compact 5 years throughout, accumulated GPA tau. A bit scary lah. So instead of orang selalu lepas SPM then you take part 1, then you take part 2 pula kan. Like mine is like straight after my matriculation. What I regret not having the chance to do is actually going abroad. You have the chance kalau you dah siap you punya part 1 ni. I still think you need to finish your part 2. Cuma bila tu, itu up to you. Kalau you kerja, some people dia kata I memang nak kerja, nak gain experience. Okay lah, mantap lah, gain experience. Tapi for me, I macam bestnya kalau dapat pergi Scotland ke, pergi UK ke, you boleh masuk AA ke, go for it ni, while you're still young and unattached.
Okay.
Ada question kat bawah tu. I say, what's your point of view on metaverse? Adakah boomer akan terima this kind of approach with things? Metaverse will benefit small architecture field. Thanks, what we argue. Actually, the metaverse makes sense as a branch of architecture. Maknanya korang yang dah graduate ni, korang actually have one more new field tau. So instead of doing real buildings, korang boleh buat buildings for the digital world. Untuk orang mingle around in it, you know, we create a gallery space ke, digital gallery ke, whatever ke, there is a demand for it. Because here's the thing, people don't understand that orang yang buat game doesn't necessarily tahu buat architecture. Dia tahu main, they know how to create the programming and everything, they know how to create the atmosphere, but not architecture. In terms of skill, apa semua tu dia tak tahu. So that is also another field that you guys can venture in. Question whether boomer accept or not, actually tak sangat. I do have people texting me, although I tak push this idea, tak pernah beritahu orang macam, hey, come join. Tak, I don't believe in that. But I do get people saying, apa benda ni macam. But again, like I said tadi, do not eliminate stress in your life. Don't compete. Don't be stressed out by what other people are doing. Kalau dia kata apa kat you macam, okay, does it affect you? Maybe you terasa, but just move on. Do whatever you want as long as you're happy and it's betul lah. Right. I think that one answers the variation question. So it is a real cabang tau. Kalau korang perasan, semalam I think dekat PAM Center, arkitek Rida dengan Khwarizmi, I think you guys should know Khwarizmi. Arkitek Rida dan arkitek Khwarizmi, dia orang actually displayed their metaverse creation. So there is a real apa dia panggil, opportunity in the future. Yeah. Okay.
Lagi ada apa-apa soalan lagi? Yang lain?
Nak tanya boleh?
Soalan tanya.
So, as you know, Cik Dan memang suka architecture daripada kecil. Most of us macam tu lah. But, sekarang dah masuk architecture, bidang yang kita belajar tu lain. Macam like idea and concept. Explore this, explore that. Macam mana Cik Lan tahu architecture ni is the one for you? Cik Lan tak ada ke macam doubt? Macam betul ke ni?
Ada doubt. Actually doubt sampai sekarang. You see, confidence macam the way I'm talking to you guys right now, dia bukannya sentiasa macam ni. I bukan sentiasa positif. There are moments yang memang macam F lah architecture ni. Sorry, I tak nak maki. Macam tak nak buat benda ni karut gila. Kenapa kita struggle buat benda ni? But you know what revives the passion? The minute my work gets published, you tahu kalau I meninggal, that is something that I contributed to this world. That's the only thing. Tak ada benda lain. You know? That macam mana nak tahu it's for you, you just don't. Because you masuk first year, you dah macam terkejut lah. Apa benda dia ajar aku ni kan. Second year, you belajar benda lain pula. Third year, then as you go to part 2, it's a completely different thing. They're gonna ask you about benda lah, apalah. There's so many things to take in, and people expect you to be perfect. You will never be. So that's why sekarang I punya journey lebih kepada mencari niche. Apa niche? You don't need to be good at everything. You don't have to be jack of all trades, master of none. So architecture ni macam too broad kan, the term, right? So choose what kind of architect you want to be. Aina, it's there's so many. So bila you kata I hate architecture, actually you may not hate architecture, you hate one portion of it. Benda yang buat you rasa you tak suka architecture at that point. Okay, hope that answers.
Lagi ada soalan ke?
Hi. Is it? Okay, so now this is a question on like current ongoing like booming topics like on NFTs and crypto kan. So in your opinion lah, if a person macam let's say macam tadi talked about metaverse and you know there are so many branches and more opportunities opening up now. So when these things are, you know, becoming much more well known to those, contohlah as architecture students ni, if we aren't aware and we don't know about these things, would it eventually make us macam mana ketinggalan a lot and not be able to participate?
Not really. Cuma it would benefit you, yang tadi ni Fatihah tadi. It would benefit you kalau you tahu. Just tahu. You don't need to like jump into it. Like tiba-tiba I nak buat. I heard about it, I terus nak buat. Tak perlu. As long as you know about it. Keep abreast with the news. Mana you nampak the news. Okay, mana ke arah. Whether this metaverse thing is really happening or not. Is it really growing? You dah boleh nampak dari situ. So I would say as students of architecture, korang ni macam ada that opportunity tau. Because dulu it's just like okay, I buat plan, I buat building. Tapi sekarang there's so many things. Korang boleh, you know, branch out architecture kau ni. Dulu tak macam tu. So it's good to know lah. And your question whether kalau after a while you dah tak tahu, lepas tu tiba-tiba whether you nak pick up tu susah ke tak. Memang tak susah. Memang you can just join. If you are trained architect, you train as an architecture student, you nak buat NFT ni kacang gila sebenarnya. Cuma you maybe lose out on the, apa dia kata, the initial momentum tu. You have to build the momentum after. Itu je. Okay.
Okay, right. Thank you.
Lagi ada soalan?
Hello?
Hello.
Nak tanya something. Ada orang nak tanya. Just nak tanya sikit what is the cryptocurrency that you invest on at the moment and why, and is there any opinion or any advice you can give for somebody trying to invest in cryptocurrency?
Scary ni. I tak boleh bagi financial advice. Nanti kalau korang rugi, nanti aku kena bakar. Tak ada. Actually, the crypto market is actually very volatile. NFT lagi volatile daripada tu kalau you nak invest. You have to, the most risk yang I akan ambil adalah stable coins, they call it. Stable coins are Bitcoins, Ethereum, right? They're the big currencies lah. So I akan choose Ethereum. Sebab no matter what, kalau you bukan nak main flip lah, you bukannya kerja pedagang saham kan, you duduk depan komputer tengok mana turun, mana naik. The minute it drop, I will buy, I will keep. Tinggal setahun, 2 tahun, tiba-tiba benda tu akan boom eventually. Yeah. Not financial advice. I kena bagi disclaimer. Nanti korang bankrupt, aku kena juga. Okay.
Okay, next one is Encik Lan. As we know that as we're talking about digital stuff, dulu waktu Encik Lan belajar, we do have syllabus on learning digital kan. Do you learn it beforehand or you learn it ikut syllabus?
The only syllabus yang I ada masa university was SketchUp and AutoCAD a bit. That's like I said, zaman tu SketchUp masih bodoh-bodoh lagi kot. So we all like adventurous gila lah. Kita orang macam ada software baru kita try tu. So that attitude carry on sampai sekarang. Bila I tengok Blender kan, macam best ni software ni. So immediately I buka YouTube macam mana nak pakai and everything. So just do it while you're still young, you're capable, learn whatever you can. Okay.
Okay, lagi soalan ada tak? Ada yang nak tanya soalan ke?
Tak ada soalan
Okay.
Okay, so terima kasih kepada Encik Azlan kerana sempat berluang masa dengan kami hari ini untuk berkongsi sedikit info yang bermanfaat lah untuk kita orang semua.
I hope you guys learn something lah. Tak adalah yang berbual kosong sini seorang-seorang kan. Harap korang pick up a bit. Tapi if you guys want to learn something after this, kalau ada questions yang you have doubt ke apa ke in your journey, just text me. Hakimi, kau ada my number kan, so just it's fine.
Encik Lan, last.
Yeah.
Kami nak juga dengar kata-kata semangat untuk kami teruskan architecture ni kan. Tips or anything yang Encik Lan nak cakap, last word.
All the best, you guys. It will be a very tough journey, tapi I assure you, kalau you continue diligently, consistently, you're gonna make it for sure. Alright? Thank you korang. Sure, boleh lah korang Ahad malam tengah dengar pakcik ni tengah bercerita apa benda lah. Okay lah, sure okay je lah.
We learn a lot, Encik Lan, tak apa.
Thank you very much, Lan, for the insight.
No problem.
Okay, so dah tak ada soalan Okay, terima kasih ucapkan kepada Encik Azlan Sarawati atas perkongsian yang amat menarik tu. Okay, hadirin yang budiman, kami mewakili ahli Meraki merakamkan ucapan terima kasih kepada panel penceramah kita Encik AR Azlan Syarawi atas segala ilmu dan nasihat yang amat penting dan dapat diaplikasikan oleh tetamu yang hadir dalam kehidupan seharian. Tidak lupa juga majlis juga mengucapkan terima kasih kepada semua pihak yang terlibat secara langsung atau tidak langsung dalam penganjuran majlis Master Builders Night sepanjang semester ini. Saya ingin memohon maaf sekiranya terdapat sebarang kesilapan sepanjang kami mengendalikan majlis ini. Okey, akhir kata, sekian wabilah taufik wa hidayah. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam. Thank you guys. Assalamualaikum.
Sebelum tu Cik Zlan, kita ambil gambar.
Oh, okay.
Ah.
Mira boleh ambil gambar? Aja punya skrin tak boleh nampak semua orang. Ini Mira.
Korang ada berapa partisipan dalam ni?
Ya.
20 plus